And welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And I am Stefan, and I still suck.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm sunburnt.
I was noticing that the screen has a reddish hue on your corner of the world.
I thought it was a filter.
Can't blame the lighting, guys. I am. You can see like the demarcating line of like scorched flesh to pale white. It's like it's very noticeable, guys. It's I feel awesome.
You'll feel better tomorrow. You're gonna feel so good.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
Honestly.
Yeah,
You're gonna have so many layers of skin. Just you're gonna turn into a snake.
You're gonna jump and it's just gonna flake off like snow.
That's gonna be so disgusting. Even talking about it is grossing me out right now.
And on that note, let's get to our topic. Top 10 films that should not be remade with Stefan.
I would love to. I would love to preface this with because we are creating fictional realities where we are dictating what can and cannot be remade. Essentially, we are also saying that if a movie has been remade, us labeling that film abolishes the remake. So we are scorched earth. You know, if what's a good example? Like the Child's Play remake with Aubrey Plaza. If we say Child's Play, that iteration now does not exist.
What do you mean?
And I like that. Fictional reality. Fictional reality.
No, this is reality. These people listen.
I'll be honest. There's a lot of remakes out there that I don't believe exist because I've never watched them.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. If you don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Yep, exactly.
Name one.
Like bears. Never seen a bear.
It rhymes with schmanny.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have to see what number that is on the list. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into it. Stefan, what have you got for number 10?
Okay, so before we got started, I said that these movies are pretty much all classics for me, with the exception of one film that I'm just looking to erase a remake. So this movie, originally, I don't really like that much. I think it's like okay. And that movie is 1980s Prom Night, directed by, Paul Lynch, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Leslie Nielsen. It's an okay slasher film, but the remake is terrible. It's one of the worst things I've ever had to endure in my entire life. It is a bloodless, fangless remake that was clearly just, it's like so, like it feels like it should come in a like clear plastic covering. It's like so sanitized. I really don't like it. It's a bad movie. I'm just picking this to erase the remake. And that's how I'm playing this game, guys.
All right.
I am so down with that. You actually sort of reminded me, because we usually talk a little bit about what you're up to before we get into the list. And I just jumped right over that. I do want to touch on something, because you're coming up on the season end for your podcast, aren't you?
Yes. So we are doing 10 episode seasons. So I do 8 episodes of me selecting movies that I love that I believe Mitch won't like, and we talk about them. On the 9th episode, which we just dropped, Mitch flips the script and selects a movie that he thinks I won't like, which is 2016's Pop Star, which I say on the episode, like the fact that came out in 2016, like I want to jump out a window. Like that was like yesterday. And to hear that it came out that long ago was like disheartening. But then our 10th episode will be an ascent to heaven. So we all pick a movie we like and discuss, and that's going to be Ex Machina, which we all love. And then we'll start this whole thing all over again with me tormenting Mitch. So that's what I've been up to.
Beautiful. So that one just came out, was it yesterday, I think?
Last night. They technically drop on Mondays, but I don't have like set like drop time. So it's not like 8 a.m. So I just drop it whenever I get around to finishing it.
Now it's good. Boop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, it's a holiday. I'm sure like nobody's actually listening to it today, to be completely honest with you.
And then your final one comes out next Monday.
No, we're bi-weekly, so it'll drop not next Monday, but the subsequent Monday. And then we're going to switch our structure where we're actually going to only do a movie a month. And then we're going to have another episode that's dedicated to like recommendations, because it's a lot of work writing synopsises for movies. Like it's also, it sucks. It's terrible. I hate doing it. I love talking about movies. I hate trying to like, I try to pick movies that you wouldn't normally go and see. Like we did Split Second with Rutger Hauer and Kim Cattrall, that I think is a great movie.
I love that movie.
It's so good, but I don't think a lot of people know about it. It was just had a Blu-ray re-release through I think it's like MVD or MWD, whatever the label is. It has like a new really cool Blu-ray release, but before that, like not many people were talking about it. So I try to do a good job of like walking you through this movie, so you don't necessarily have to watch this movie to enjoy the podcast. So
Nice.
But that process sucks. I hate it. It's terrible.
Well, we're glad you do it, buddy. We're glad you do it.
Thank you, buddy.
All right. Back onto the list then. Jason, number 10.
Okay. I'm going to start with 1993's Groundhog Day.
I like this. Yeah. Great.
It stands the test of time. There's a reason why other filmmakers ape that premise, because they did it so perfectly the first time. And you can't see anyone else trying to fill Bill Murray's shoes. It just works on every level. It's one of those go-to films that if it's on, I'm watching it, period. You can't not watch it.
See, I almost put that on my list, except films already do remake it, like Palm Springs.
I love Palm Springs, by the way. I'm a staunch defender.
Palm Springs was great. And yes, they'll ape the premise, but no one can do it quite as good as what they pulled off with that first movie.
Yeah.
Actually, I challenged that for an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it was the third last episode of the series.
I know what you're talking about, and that was good. That was good. But it didn't have the heart that Groundhog Day ends up surprising you with. But also, Groundhog Day, a lot of people don't like to talk about the dark side of what you don't see. He lived a very long time. Mm-hmm. He repeated that day so many more times than we ever saw. And not all of them were sunshine and rainbows.
Nope.
So,
fair enough.
It's also an incredibly young Michael Shannon in that movie as well.
Oh, yeah, I think his first role.
Yeah. Apparently Bill Murray was a dick to him on set as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Michael on the show. Okay. James, what's your number 10?
Okay, most of mine were comprised of movies that were either successful and the studio is going to get around to starting over, or they were so old that they update it for a new generation, or they failed so miserably that someone else is going to want to try, and I just don't want them to, because I think they did it right the first time. Anyway, so my first top 10, number 10 is 1999's American Pie. Oh. You're not going to get anyone that can do Jim's dad like Eugene Levy.
Oh, absolutely.
Or Stifler, or Jim. I mean,
no, I think you're right on that one. I didn't even think about that one.
That really it might have been kind of a gateway to maybe not a gateway, but it was one of the first successful raunchy teen comedies.
Yeah.
There were a ton of them in the 90s that were all like straight to video and, not the greatest. But American Pie really launched something, I think.
Yeah.
Relaunched. Because remember Porky's.
Oh, yeah. Long stretch between.
there might be Bob Clark representation on this list. You might wait and see, guys.
So, that's a good pick, though. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. And then just to give you an idea how I did my list, because I started looking up, movies that should not be remade and things like that. And some of the stuff. Oh, wait, here's Chris. Crossover potential. Groundhog Day meets Marvel. Bill Murray as Doctor Strange. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. That's brilliant, actually. Yes. Oh my God, I want to see that so bad.
Bill Murray as his groundskeeper character from Caddyshack as Doctor Strange.
Yep. So we've just rewritten a reboot, which we're not supposed to do on this list.
Damn it. Damn it.
Yeah, what I ended up doing is sitting down in front of my movies that I have, because I own them for a reason. It's because I love them. So I just went through everything that I have, and these are the top 10 out of everything I have. I don't ever want to see a remake on. So that's where mine came from.
Sure.
My number 10 to start it off, and it's only because we've seen this character before and it failed, and then it was done right and made millions. And just to think of somebody else in the shoes just isn't going to happen. 2016's Deadpool.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Hugh Jackman is going to be recast as Wolverine because Marvel has to make money.
Yeah.
Right now, Deadpool, there is nobody else but Ryan Reynolds.
He also fought to get that movie made, which is
11 years.
Yeah.
He started working on that idea in conversation with David S. Goyer on the set of Blade Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
And it took him that long. No one will be able to wear that suit besides him. I guarantee you, if they try to recast it, he's going to steal every single Deadpool suit they have. He's gonna sabotage the set every chance he can get. It'll never work without him.
Let's just talk about Blade Trinity for the rest of this episode. I'm on board.
A little Pomeranian. Yeah. Okay. But yes, that's my number 10, Deadpool.
It's a good pick.
Very cool.
Number 9, Stefan.
I'm now going to get serious with my list. We talked before we got started about like the ranking. There isn't like a lot of ranking to my list. There is like a little bit, but a lot of these are interchangeable because like you, I looked at my movies and I was like, these are the things I grew up with and meant the most to me. So I'm going to continue getting serious with 1987's Hellraiser, obviously directed by Clive Barker, starring Claire Higgins as Julia, which is it's like such a fine, great acting role. The music in this is so wonderful. They had scrapped a score by Coil, which is like good industrial music. If real heads will recognize, Coil is awesome. I'm kind of interested to hear what that would have been. I'm still happy with what we got. It's a movie that deals with sexuality like in a very, very interesting fashion. Also, if you've read The Hellbound Heart, it's like a very good representation of that novella. I love this movie. I think it's great. I love Hellraiser 2 as well. Very different movies. I don't even know if I could, pick one over the other in terms of the different moods. It's like Alien and Aliens. I don't know. Like I'm in this mood today, or I'm in this mood today.
Well, the things that scares me about Hellraiser is what they would try to do to it today.
Yeah.
You look at this, the pre-sequel or whatever you want to call it for The Thing.
Yeah.
They went CGI on it, which it's not.
Yeah, I mean, that's also interesting because they did do practical effects for it, and the studio just kiboshed them, and like they apparently were filmed and it existed, and the studio opted to go to CGI. And like I'm actually like, I love CGI. That's what I do. Partially what I do. And it has its place and it has its like application. It's usually best when it's blended with an actual prosthetic, or there's some real component and you're augmenting it digitally to make it look better. That's probably the best representation of CGI. But yeah, they try to like bungle something. So I'm sure
with what they have with Hellraiser, it made it more terrifying because it was all practical.
Yeah, I mean, Hellraiser 2 is interesting because right before going to camera, the stock market crashed, so that the pound plummeted. So their valuation for the production before they got started went from like here to here. So they had to like recontextualize how they're going to film certain aspects, showing the Cenobites world. And I think it's still successful, but I did pick Hellraiser because I think I prefer it, but I don't even know. I can tell you. I love it. It's great. Don't ever remake it. I know it's becoming a television series. I just hope they do that right. We'll see what happens.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of those sequels are absolutely rotten.
All right, number 9, Jason.
All right, I'm going with 1985's The Breakfast Club. You know, John Hughes was just magical, and he was able to encapsulate what it was to be a high school teenager in that era. Everybody was spot on, and it still works to this day. You know, it's all the emotional notes still resonate with newer generations. It's a timeless film, it really is.
I agree. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
I can't argue with that pick. No,
I just wish we could see the director's cut. That does exist, but John Hughes does not want it revealed to the public. They've shown it once at the anniversary screening a few years ago, and that's it.
should have been there.
Yeah, I wish.
All right, James, number 9.
Okay, my number 9 is one of those ones that did poorly, and I'm always kind of saddened when stars and directors hate on their own movies, and especially when I don't know what their original vision was. I just loved what I got, and I think they did this great the first time out, and I would not like to see a remake of it. This is 2010's Jonah Hex.
You are the devil, you.
I love this movie.
Sorry for clapping. I apologize.
That's okay.
I know what I've heard, but I've never seen it, so I can't honestly comment.
I thought Josh Brolin was awesome in this movie, and the soundtrack done by the members of it starts with a damn it. Sorry. It's a very, very, very heavy metal band who did the score for the movie, and a couple are in extra cameo roles or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But Josh Brolin does a great job. John Malkovich does a great creepy job. Michael Fassbender, Megan Fox. I don't know. I just loved what I saw.
And that's the beauty of art. You know, it can be totally crappy, and James will love it. So that's why art is so good.
The dark horse picks. I'm excited for the next one. Every time it comes around, I'm like, what are we getting next? Like, it's wonderful. I appreciate it.
I do know I have it saved on Netflix to watch, and maybe I'll pull the trigger today or tomorrow night and finally watched Jonah Hex, so that way I can comment honestly.
I'm gonna slap the remote out of your hand.
Oh, hand's just gonna reach through your window and knock the remote out of your hand.
I'm gonna sit on the couch and just like, oh, Stefan was here.
You're gonna try and push play, and your finger just won't be able to press. You just won't be able to move.
I can't get the button. Let me see. My number 9 from 1985. This is a movie I think it was filmed at the perfect point for the story that it told, and it eventually told, because it was still close enough to an old age and closer to the future. And I kind of give it away. 1985's Back to the Future. I don't think it would work today the way it did then.
Well,
30, not at all.
30 years ago now is 1990.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, entirely different.
We basically listened to the exact same music we did in 1990. So
Well, yeah, because that was good music back then.
That's what people say about the 50s, but it's still different music.
You know what's going to be funny? I think Back to the Future will be remade, but in like 2055. And somebody's going to go back in time to 2020 just to see how messed up it really was.
Not a great time, guys. Not a great time.
Plot twist. It's going to be a documentary.
Oh. No, a horror movie.
Well, yeah, a horror doc. There we go. Okay, Stefan, back to you. Number 8.
This continues the train of movies that I think are just like technically perfect and like super enjoyable, and I can hardly find a fault in it. And this is 1979's Alien. My list is gonna be very boring. Again, these are movies that I just like were super important to me, are still important to me. Alien is a movie that I can watch on repeat, not get tired. The only noticeable problem for me is the change-o head for when they swap Ash for his real head to the dummy head. That looks like trash, but not, it's like endearing. Everything else, all the actual effects are great beyond that and stand the test of time currently. Like all the miniature work is wonderful. And the performances are great. You know, it's such a great cast of characters. You know, Tom Selleck.
And the intensity still holds up.
Oh, Tom Skerritt. Sorry, what did I say? Jesus
Selleck.
Christ. I'm so sunburned, guys. My brain is fried. I could have said John, like, I don't even know. I don't have
John actor.
John actor. No, I was going to say, it's not unusual to be loved by
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones. It could have been Tom Jones. I could have said Tom Jones, and that would have been a realistic, or like reasonable for me in this state. I am done. I'm 100% burnt.
If you would have said Tom Jones, I'm thinking, did I miss a scene? Is there a deleted scene on the
Jonesy the
director's cut?
cat is actually Tom Jones
In a costume.
playing Jonesy the cat.
Who knew
That
Tom
or-
Jones?
that or he just meant to say Mars Attacks.
Anyways, Tom Skerritt, not Tom Selleck. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't understand why anybody puts any validation on what I say. It's mostly just garbled words.
But it's very, very fun.
But fun. I hope so, at least.
All right, Jason, number 8.
My number 8, going to 1986 with Stand By Me.
Nice. Great.
Like, yeah.
You don't like that, do you?
I think it's decent. I just think it could use an update. This was on my movies to be remade list.
Ooh.
I don't think so. I don't think you would be able to get the chemistry that those boys brought together, or in particular, I don't think you could find another River Phoenix.
Well, that's true.
Like River Phoenix in particular, when it gets it down to the nitty gritty of his dad and everything, and you know, it's powerful stuff.
You might have just changed my list with you bringing this movie into the fold. So
Ooh,
I'm on the cusp. I'm
on
very
the fly
close.
changing. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
Well, let's see if this one changes it. James, what's your number 8?
Okay, my number eight. They've long tried to make a sequel to this, but I don't think they've ever announced a reboot or a remake, and I really hope they don't. It's 1985's The Goonies.
Yeah, that'd be a weird remake. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a remake could work in this day and age. You know, technology and whatnot would kind of ruin half the adventure.
Yeah.
You know, they could just Google map everything.
It's the problem with horror movies too. Modern technology just kiboshes everything.
That's why all the movies now are set in the 80s and 90s. They don't got
Yeah. I have to say, I saw this movie a little bit too late, so it didn't have I think it's fun, but it didn't have the impact for me, and I kind of wish I saw it younger to feel the way you do about it, you know?
This was the first movie I saw without my parents, but I was with my older brother and his friends. It was amazing.
Cool.
And there is a chance that that they are talking about a possible reunion sequel. That is apparently really being shopped around.
And I'm anxious to see that. Just don't start over.
No, I don't think that. They couldn't. They just you can't. None of these movies that we're referencing can really be done in a remake and with any sort of real success. You're just not going to be able to catch that lightning.
Do you guys have any reboots that you like that pull previous talent into the project to, kind of usher it into a new generation? Is there anything that has been successful for you? Or do you find it pandering personally? What are your thoughts?
I honestly can't.
I can't think of one
that quick on it.
A-Team. They threw in some surviving cameos, and I thought A-Team was super fun.
I remember enjoying that too. I haven't seen it in a long, long time though. But I love it's Charlton Copley who plays
Murdoch.
He's really fun. I really like him as an actor personally. I know people are like,
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I enjoy him.
I've not I've seen him and so many things, and I've loved him in every single one.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, my number 8. It has one of those characters, just like we've been describing, that you can never duplicate, even in any of his films. Specifically this one, because this is one of the ones he really got honored for. 1989's Dead Poets Society.
I didn't even put any Robin Williams on the list. I just have it. I have written at the bottom of my page here, anything with Robin Williams, don't touch it.
Patch Adams.
You know,
Yep.
no one could do Robin Williams. Period. Dead Poet Society, Mrs. Doubtfire, Good Morning Vietnam, Patch Adams. Nobody can touch any of that.
No, you're very, very true. Like that.
1 Hour Photo.
Yes. Insomnia.
Insomnia is great. That's
Insomnia,
a great remake. I have to
I've
say.
never watched Insomnia, so I do need to see that one.
Yeah.
Dead Again, his awesome cameo.
Oh, yes, Dead Again. That one is brilliant. I love that film. But yeah, so
Fisher King.
Oh, yes.
him and Jeff Bridges. That's right. And Mercedes Rule.
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting. No? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. We got a whole list just with Robin Williams. You're right. All right, let's get to 7 then. Stefan.
Cool. I wanted something a bit more modern that hasn't spawned a sequel, but it's been kind of floated a little bit. And it's getting to the point now where I think maybe in 5 years or so, or 10 years, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to reboot it and remake it. So I chose David Robert Mitchell's It Follows, which I think is a wonderful film. Personally, I think it's great. Yes, cool. All right,
Yeah, good movie.
This should not be remade. Micah Monroe is a super talented actor, and I think should be held in similar standing to say like Jamie Lee Curtis, even though she hasn't been in as many properties. But like this, The Guest, all awesome movies. She's super talented. This movie is just like it. The scene where she goes out to the boat is just like deflating, depressing, deeply, deeply upsetting. When she's driving away with her soaked cast is just like one of the saddest moments in a movie. It's like so deeply affecting. It has like a coming of age component, which I think is like usually a really good selling feature for me as like a viewer. I really like gravitate towards that kind of subject matter. So I really like this movie. I know that Quentin Tarantino didn't like it because he's a dipshit.
At least he's got a reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Fuck that guy. That's my number 7, guys. I'm here to hate on stuff.
Excellent.
Jason, number 7.
My number 7, 1994. Again, iconic. Nobody else can do it. Forrest Gump.
Good pick. Good pick.
No one else could play Forrest. Period. And what they did, I know it's based on a book, and there is a sequel book. But from what I understand, there's a lot of stuff in that book that there's no way they could actually pull off, at least not nearly to the standards that the first movie gave us. So
Get Stefan on there with some computer graphics. I think they could do it.
We'll see what happens. I haven't seen this since it came out. Like it's been a long time.
It still holds up. Every single bit of it still works.
Cool.
Okay. James, number 7.
My number 7, I think, falls into a similar category as the Goonies. They made a sequel to this. They've talked about a third movie, which one of its stars doesn't see how it's probably possible. But I don't want them to go back and start over because the cast you have in this movie, it's just 1988 Young Guns.
Yes.
Yes. I have heard about that. Apparently it's happening. Young Guns 3 apparently is happening.
Yeah, I read one interview with Emilio Estevez saying, well, his character may or may not have been Billy the Kid, but he died anyway. Yeah, they're all dead except for possibly Brushy Bill Roberts, who was walking off into the sunset at the end of the movie.
But did you read the words? It said shortly thereafter he died.
I know. So
wait. It's a ghost movie, guys. They're switching genres. They're haunted by young guns.
Young Ghosts 2.
Young Ghosts 2. Back to the hood.
Anyway, leave the original alone.
Soundtrack by Bon Jovi again.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I think this one falls into the don't touch it and remake category right there. Let me see. My number 7. It's one of those ones they could probably do it now with CGI, but I don't think it would have the warmth and the love that the practical effects that the puppetry and the singing did in 1986, The Labyrinth.
Ooh.
The whole segment with the ones pulling off their heads and switching them around, and it's got to be puppets. In the
That's just a don't even talk about it.
And nobody can replace Bowie.
Exactly.
Is Labyrinth a musical?
It's got songs.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
I don't know if it's fully considered a musical, but it does have a few songs in it.
I think there's 2 songs.
Yeah.
And they're both sung by David Bowie. I got to be honest. I think that's all.
Yeah.
I can't do musicals. It's like an acid bath for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's brutal for me. I never watched it because I thought it was a musical.
Literally, I can think of 2 songs. They're both by David Bowie.
At least 3.
3.
That's still a hurdle.
Dance Magic Dance.
Yeah.
The one in the ballroom, and the one at the end when she's chasing him through those rooms and stuff like that. That's at least 3.
Okay,
but if you want to count the kids, those creatures pulling off their heads, I think that's 4.
You're trying to make me watch this movie now. You're just adding songs on.
It is so good. It is so good.
And another.
There's actually 5 songs, maybe 6. Yeah. 7 probably though.
Definitely no more than 8 or 9.
Okay, the whole thing's sung. All right.
If nothing else, you're watching, you see David Bowie, he's wearing the ballet dancer tights, and you just have to watch him from the waist up, okay, I'm not looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his codpiece is legendary.
Seriously, there's only 2 songs. There's Dance Magic Dance, which is 45 minutes long, and then there's the ballroom.
I can do 45 minutes. That's doable.
That's it. That's all there is.
Yeah.
It's so good.
All right, number 6, Stefan, what do you got?
I think this might upset a certain someone. So prepare yourself, steel yourself. You need to clench your fists, bite your tongue. If you want to put a twig and bite on it, like you might have a seizure or something, even though I think that's inappropriate to do if you're going through a seizure. My pick is Thomas Alfredson, who directed Tinker Tailor Soldier Spies. Let the Right One In, and I am removing Let Me In from cinema. Henceforth, it is gone. Goodbye.
I'm not going to fault you on that one, because originally when I was going to watch it, it was just they're going to wimp it down. They're not going to do it right. And it was just after it sitting with me for a while that I realized, and I also started to forget details of the original. So I hadn't gone back to refresh myself on the original. So I can't fault you.
Yeah.
I loved Let Me In, or Let
the Right One In is stellar.
Remake. Let Me In?
Let Me In is the remake, yeah.
Right.
Let Me In is the remake.
I loved it. I went to the theater and I'd seen it, but I'd never seen the original. And then just recently, I watched the original, and now I look at it and go, ooh.
Yeah, it's just Americans, you can't do it. Just let somebody else do it.
My son wants me to play Monster Hunter. It's wait, I have to see the movie first. At least I'll enjoy the movie for a second, and then I'll destroy it with the real game.
Yeah.
Jason, number 6.
My number 6 is a film that I can pretty much guarantee will never be remade, because no one could do it right, but no one would have the balls, because if you even whisper these words as a prospect of being remade, you will have all the snowflakes and cancel culture diving to their keyboards for 1974's Blazing Saddles.
I don't remember that movie, to be honest.
It is hilarious, but most of the jokes in it would not fly today in today's cancel culture society.
My favorite joke would.
I don't know, man.
Don't say it.
No.
Keep it for yourself.
No, trust me. This one's totally sanitary. He's sitting there in the jail cell saying, like, you see this hand? Yeah. No. He's like, no. I said it wrong. Anyway, he's just like, you see this hand? He's like, yeah, steady as a rock. Yeah, but I shoot with this hand. I messed it up. I'm sorry. But yeah, totally harmless joke, unless you're like a Parkinson fanatic or something. I don't know.
And that is why you need to watch the movie. So that doesn't happen.
Now, I know Mel Brooks himself has been talking about possibly doing like a sequel to Spaceballs. But even then,
Really?
I don't know if they can pull it off.
Yeah,
Well,
don't do it.
Yogurt would be perfect because he's around 900 years old now. So this is just fitting in perfectly. But
Mel Brooks' humor, even Spaceballs, has a lot of questionable stuff in it. So I don't know if it would even play. He would probably get shut down.
There's quite a few things that have been played that are like could not, like American Pie has inappropriate stuff by today's standards. What was another comedy that was not Groundhog Day, not there's something else that was mentioned that I don't think could be remade today.
The only thing I think Breakfast Club just had no diversity, but that's
yeah.
Well, that's because all the high schools in the 80s were full of white people.
Just a sea of white.
That's right.
Yeah.
James, what you got for number 6?
My number 6 is a cult movie, which is well loved, but I don't believe it performed well financially. And I'll murder the person who tries to change this one in any way. What?
Most cult films never do well financially.
Exactly.
I know. 2002's Bubba Hotep.
Oh, yes.
So I've just announced, guys, I'm remaking Bubba Hotep. I'm excited to...
I'll be right back, guys.
This is how Stefan died. This is a great pick. I love Don Coscarelli. I love this movie. It's awesome.
I love that. Just the concept of that film. You know, Elvis and JFK in an old age home fighting mummies. Like, what's not to love?
I want to read the books.
They had what would qualify as quasi-realistic explanations for both of them.
Oh yeah, the Elvis part could totally happen.
JFK is a black man, absolutely.
I got a bag of sand up here.
Oh yes, good pick.
Yeah, there's a series of books about this that I'd love to read if I had the spare time. I don't know if it's is it Joe Lansdale? I don't even know.
Joe R. Lansdale, yes.
Yeah.
They tried to make the sequel Bubba Nosferatu,
right.
but that's apparently tied up in rights issues.
That's a shame.
Didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
No,
I wonder if Bruce Campbell would come back for it.
Probably.
He's game for anything, I think.
Except for Ash.
Except for Ash.
Some of the stuff he's been in, I think no is in the vocabulary.
Money, please.
Let me see. My number 6. I picked this one because A, the movie kicks ass just as it is, and B, it definitely should not be made into a series on a TV that sucks swamp water through a straw. 1986 Lethal Weapon. I tried to watch that show.
First 2 seasons I loved because of Clayne Crawford.
Of course you did.
Rob, did you like any of it? I didn't watch it, so I'm just curious. Was there any season that you actually liked, or is it all just like trash?
To me, I couldn't get past episode 1, and I tried. I watched 2 and 3. They tried to cram too much of the Lethal Weapon franchise into one episode.
Oof.
Where he's
it wouldn't be the first TV show to do that.
No. I'm not going to say it is ever. Trust me. But it's Lethal Weapon. You don't mess with it.
Yeah.
The beauty is, they are untrusted together in the first one, and they build the trust in the first movie. Whereas in this one, within 10 minutes, supposedly they have a trusting relationship that then turns around and he can't stand the man 20 minutes later, and then they love each other at the end. And it's like, dude, pick a side. So it pulled me right out of it, and it's like no. And then I quickly put in the movie and bleached my eyes, and I'm good.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
I love the original. I think it's a ton of fun. The sequel's great too.
That's my passionate one right there.
Yeah.
The Lethal Weapon franchise is one of the rares where they may not have gotten better, but they certainly maintained a solid, really good plateau for all the sequels.
Yep. There was not that dip that canceled them.
I want to say the third one was my first drive-in experience.
Oh.
I think. I'm not sure. I like it. It was. I definitely saw it. I don't remember.
I think the third one's probably my favorite of the entire series.
Oh,
I really like the introduction of Rene Russo's character.
Yeah,
number two I watched the most, which was the introduction of the Joe Pesci character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Pesci rocked in that film.
Yeah.
But that was the other thing too. They added people, but not just to add them, but their characters actually genuinely did something.
Yeah, it was fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There we go. Ryan says, shout out to Leo Getz.
Yes.
What you need, Leo Getz. Okay. Number 5, Stefan, what do you got?
I'm going to rearrange a few things because I'm still deciding if I want to tweak my list. So I'm gonna restructure a few things. I'm going to say 1973's The Exorcist should never be remade. I don't know how you would remake it. I don't think that there's some stuff in there that's just so repulsive and repellent that I don't even understand how you would film today and
you mean the thing with the cross
consumable for mass audience. Yeah, fucking a cross. That's not happening.
I totally agree with Stefan. You said boring and uninteresting, right? Yes.
Me? No. Oh, rude. You stay back in your square. This square right here. This right here is an exorcist, a pro exorcist square.
Stefan takes the James gets the X.
I love this. It's so much fun. I love the extended cold open of Max von Sydow in old age makeup, going through. I don't know if it's Iran or Iraq, and I feel like a dipshit for even not knowing. But he's somewhere on an archaeological dig, and it's a very foreboding, great moment that is dropped until the final or close to the final moments of the movie. That structure is so wonderful, and I really, really appreciate it. I don't know if I've tried to use that in scripts, and I have yet to option one that that utilizes that technique because I don't. People don't like it, and I don't get it because I think it's great. I love dropping something and then coming back to it, in a new, interesting fashion and recontextualizing what that opening moment means.
Bookends.
Yeah.
Bookends.
It's not. I don't think it's a bookend because he's not coming back to that scene at the end of the film. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit different, I think, but I don't know. It's so cool. The acting's great. I know that William Friedkin definitely was not acting appropriately on set, and that shit would not fly today. And I think that's a good thing. I think a director shouldn't have a gun that they're firing off to get reactions from actors on set. That is that's so inappropriate on so many levels. As somebody who is deeply uncomfortable with guns in general, I've been on set with prop guns. I'm just I don't want those around me. That makes me really uncomfortable. I don't like it. Not for me. Yeah, it's shitty. Reassess William Friedkin's behavior, please.
I'd cross that off my shoot coming up.
Yeah, it's not a great idea. He did a lot of things that were pretty inappropriate. But I really do love this movie. I rewatch it all the time. The cinematography is great. I don't know what I could say that's original and not cliched because it's all been said about this movie. It's great.
Well, I know what you mean about bookends too, because with James talking, I think Wonder Woman is a great example of bookends. Because it starts present, it goes to the past, and then it comes back to the present at the end. That's like a bookend. I don't
very.
Exorcist doesn't do that. Like Stefan said, it goes back and stays back. And
yeah, it's like you see a character in one context, and then they're reintroduced in a whole other context towards the tail end of the film. And there's no bad performance in it. It's very, very interesting. God, I can't even remember the actor's name, but the guy who plays Oh God, Demi.
Father Damien.
Yeah, Father Damien. Why didn't I know that? The sun has killed me. Like everybody's acting is wonderful. No complaints. I love it. Makes me happy. Don't remake it, please.
Wait. Makes you happy. You sit there and smile while you watch this movie?
Oh, so all right. A lot of these are autobiographical. I watched The Exorcist alone with my brother babysitting me when I was 10. And my parents passed the VHS to us, so we weren't like we weren't stealing it away from them or doing anything like uneven-handed. But they just like let us watch that super young.
That's the best way to watch it when you're young is steal away with the VHS player and hide up in your room watching it with on really low volume where you got your head up against the speaker. And at least that's what I've been told.
Yeah. My parents were really supportive. And they created this disgusting red monster, right?
Yeah.
This Zoidberg creature.
Great film acumen, but yeah, son, that gets him.
Yeah.
Jason, number 5.
All right, I'm calling an audible here and adjusting my list slightly here. I originally had anything by Tarantino in this spot, but I'm not going there. I bumped it off the list. Cause,
did my screen work? Did it work?
No. It's because my number 1 was wrong and I needed to shuffle things. So
Okay.
So I'm going with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We're not talking the Hobbit movies. We're just talking the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Hobbit movies could have been done better.
Absolutely, but the
Lord of the Rings,
for the faults that it has and the stuff they had to omit and whatnot, I love those movies. I think they are great renditions from the books. Some of the best book to film renditions I think I've ever seen. And I can't see anyone else doing anything with that.
There's so much walking in that movie, even the trees walk.
I know. You don't need to quote my Lord and Savior. Okay,
I thought I'd do it.
There's so much walking in that movie. It should be an Aaron Sorkin script.
But you're right. It is a good, especially if you get the 4-hour cuts, because that puts the majority of the books back together.
Mm-hmm. Still a few key things like from the books that are missing, but nothing that really moved the story or affects the story in any major way. So,
and that's the horrible and beautiful thing about filmmaking for books is to figure out how to translate it.
Right.
Yeah.
What parts don't affect the primary story so they can be cut. Yeah. So, Tom Bombadil, again, not a major factor in the overall story. So, of course they left it out.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, James, number 5.
Okay, my number 5. They announced that they were either doing a remake or a sequel to this. And I don't know if everyone, the collective fan base freaking out, caused them to come out and say, no, this is a sequel. This is a sequel. It's a follow-up. It's not a remake. Starring Dwayne Johnson. And I really hope, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think it could. And I really hope it's not a remake. It is 1986's and probably still to this day my favorite John Carpenter film, Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, no, they can't. I love The Rock, but he can't do a bad John Wayne impression for an entire film.
Well, not only that, Kurt Russell is a smaller man in that film. Like, he's not this monster powerhouse that Dwayne Johnson looks like.
Right. He's not a badass. He's not a badass.
He's Jack Burton.
Acts like one, but he's really not.
Jack Burton, truck driver. That's all he is, Yeah.
Basically, John Wayne in a wife beater.
Yep. Good pick.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going into the 90s with this one.
Ooh.
I don't think it should be remade, but I definitely think there could be movies made about it on other topics. But this is from 1996, and it's Oliver Stone's JFK.
I don't have any feelings about this one. This is an interesting pick, Rob. I like this.
Well, because it's based on Jim Garrison's book.
Yeah.
So that story's been told. You know.
Yeah.
There's so much other meat on those bones. Play with that, But that's been told. 3-hour movie. It's done. Just
Interesting. That's a great pick, I have to say. I didn't expect that at all, and that's like a great sign. So A+.
and then as I was making the list, I watched JFK because I had to.
and you could not get anyone to do a better job than Donald Sutherland in his X persona. That whole segment is masterpiece.
Well, you look at the cameos that are in there too. Bacon's in there, like John Candy, a serious role for John Candy, and he would.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So just not to mention the fact that the people that the story's about, some of them were actually in it as well. Perry Russo, Jim Garrison. Jim Garrison played the one judge that denied their case. Earl Warren. Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. Ed Asner's in it. Jack Lemmon.
Pruitt Taylor Vince.
Talent.
Yeah. JFK.
Lolita Davidovich.
Yes. Forgot about her. Brian Doyle Murray.
Yeah. Jack Ruby.
Gary Oldman as Lee Harvey Oswald. Again,
Yeah.
I digress. We go on. Don't we make it? Number 4, Stefan.
You heard echoes. Echoes.
All right, guys. I'm undecided. I'm gonna make another audible, so we'll have a second audible right now. I had originally picked 1987's RoboCop here. I am removing it from my list, and I am going with 1983's Dead Zone, the David Cronenberg film, which is better than the book. I will defend that position staunchly. Yeah. So Greg Stilson, who is the Trumpian then Senator, future presidential candidate who's in the book, is established as being a villain by murdering a dog, which is like my legitimate like if you want to establish a villain, that is one of the laziest ways you can do it. I hate it. It bothers me so much. It makes the book like kryptonite to me. It's disgusting, repellent. It's stupid. Stephen King, when he tried to adapt the script, turned it into like a slasher where it was primarily about the serial killer. And it sounded terrible. Thankfully, David Cronenberg, along with another screenwriter, resuscitated an actual good movie out of this. And I know a lot of people lampoon Christopher Walken's performance in it, but I think it's great. This is a wonderful film for me, and I would hate to see it remade, especially given the context of a post-Trump America. Like it would just seem terrible and pandering in a certain way. You know what I mean? Like
what about the TV show?
I was gonna say,
I never watched the TV show, to be completely honest with you.
I will say as a spoiler, I left The Crow off this list because not just because they made sequels that tried to emulate the first one, but because they made a TV show that they tried to remake it as. So I'm like, I understand it would exist in the world of I want to erase this remake from history, but I decided to avoid that entirely.
Yeah.
But I was curious what your opinions on the show were, but if you didn't see it, then
I didn't see it. I love this movie so much that having not seen it, I'm comfortable still erasing it from our television landscape, guys. The show is gone.
It is a good movie.
It's a horrible series, obviously, because Anthony Michael Hall's in it, so it can go.
Yes. What is your beef against Anthony Michael Hall?
I want to know. Give me the hot goss.
He was in Breakfast Club.
I know. Trust me. Jason, number 4.
What? No gossip?
I'm still, I want to know more. What's the problem with Anthony Michael Hall?
Because this is 2 weeks in a row.
I've never, ever liked Anthony Michael Hall. I really wish I could give you
Not even in The Dark Knight?
Well, okay. I tolerate him in small pieces. Okay.
Oh, okay.
My favorite movie of Anthony Michael Hall is Edward Scissorhands.
I knew that was coming.
Okay. Yeah. He gets stabbed at the end. I'm good with that.
Some actors just have that effect on people.
This has got to come out one day.
I got to be honest. I think it's been going on so long, I forget what started it. And now
he's gonna accept your invitation to CKX, and then it'll all come out.
Did he key your car? Like what?
I'm thinking he touched him inappropriately or something.
Yeah, seriously.
No, someone touches me, I'm their best friend. Oop, that's online. Dang it.
Wow.
Number 4.
My number 4 is a rather recent pick here, but honestly, because I put money down that they're going to try and do an American remake, but 2019's Parasite is so well done.
Ooh.
I don't think anyone can touch that. They're going to try and you got to try and have the surprises, and it'll fall flat. When you hit a grand slam home run with a film like Parasite, no one can do that again.
Tell me what American remake of an Asian horror film that's actually done really well.
Exactly.
The Grudge.
I will stand by The Ring as being a
Ring.
A fine remake, but that's
Mirrors.
What?
Mirrors. Mirrors. The bathtub.
I'm gonna have a heart attack, guys. I'm gonna fucking have a heart attack.
The bathtub scene. Come on. Dark Water.
James, don't make me put you on a timeout.
See, those are horror movies, and horror movies you have a little bit more room to play. Okay, but when you're dealing with
not that much room. Not that much room. I don't know where to point. I can't find where to point.
Here, hang on. I'll make it easy.
There. But I not that.
Oh, Rob, you're starting to flicker.
What?
Boom, boom.
Not that Old Boy is
You're
a
flickering.
perfect film, but I put Parasite if you try to do an American remake, my mind goes to Old Boy, and the American remake of Old Boy just
was
fell
great.
flat.
Yeah,
I was skeptical, but I loved it.
But
I'm going to have another heart attack. It's a series of heart attacks.
It is great. What is your beef against Josh Brolin?
I actually like Josh Brolin. Josh Brolin's drunk acting in Milk is really enjoyable, I have to say. That's a weird, he's not even like he's a supporting, character in that movie, but still, that's what I think about Josh Brolin. That's what I think. Drunk in Milk.
All right. Back in your spot, James. And what do you got for number 3? Or 4, sorry.
Wait,
myself?
Is this me now? Oh wait.
No, it's
James.
Oh, okay.
The rearranging of squares confused me.
I said Old Boy remake was an 8 out of 10. Original is a 10.
That's a good fair assessment.
Sure.
Okay, mine's kind of obvious. It's an older movie that they might they did that and it worked. Okay, no, I'm just gonna say it. You can't remake this because Marlon Brando's dead. 1972 is The Godfather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
And look
That's the beginning and the end of it. You can't.
But the thing with the idea of a mafia story is there are so many different ways to play it, and it has been played in so many brilliant ways over the years.
And I didn't. Oh no, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I didn't think Martin Scorsese could do it for himself even, and he did it with The Irishman, with probably his best mob movie yet.
Also a dark horse opinion.
Really?
I turned that movie off. I turned it off. It is
so good. Oh my goodness.
Could not tolerate it. I don't know. That's another problem with that's bad CGI right there. I think that annoyed me is like de-aging.
See, I thought that was stellar CGI. I understand why it costs so much.
Yeah, to me, like I'd rather age people up with prosthetics and then have them, play their current selves for past selves. Like Max von Sydow and like The Exorcist, for example. I think that works. Yeah. That holds up today. Like people were like, that guy was old then. How is he still alive? Not realizing that he was in makeup in that role. I think that would have been more successful, and he wouldn't be beholden to his like normal cast of actors that are like growing increasingly stale for me personally. Like
I watched The Irishman. It was painful, but yeah, I didn't mind it. But the only good CGI I've ever seen for de-aging is Marvel. You know, even the DC Aquaman, it still looks a bit phony. You know, and it's a technology, so it's going to get there, but we're not there all the time.
Ryan's got a good point.
I was going to say Godfather Trilogy is my number 1 and Shawshank number 2. Never touch these.
Shawshank, yeah.
There's a lot of King on this so far, or not, maybe not a lot, but you know, it's been mentioned.
My number 4 is not a Stephen King. In fact, I think it's the only. Oh no, it's not. But it's a comic book movie that I adore, and it should never be touched because it's quintessential. But it's not your normal superhero movie.
Howard the Duck.
Exactly.
The Shadow.
Exactly. That shouldn't be remade for other reasons. 2017's Logan.
Yeah, I'm down with this. How did this get made? Honestly, it boggles my mind that an R-rated Logan film came out. I think it's great.
Deadpool.
No, sorry. What I mean is like Deadpool, but Deadpool kind of like exists in its own island of comic book movies. You know what I mean? Like Logan is like this. Like it came out with X-Men, X2, X3. I don't know what the fuck they called it, but like it was part of that. Like it's an important property.
Right, but what Deadpool did is it said, "Look, a comic book movie can be R-rated." Everyone forgot about Blade, apparently, but
I love Blade.
It could be R-rated and make $1 billion. You know, So, and that character Wolverine, he has knives on his hands. How is it not R-rated?
Yeah, honestly,
it's like Raphael in the Turtles. Okay, he's got stabby sticks. How can you not? Okay. Let me see here. Ryan said Sin City and 300 are comic movies that hit it perfect and don't need a retread.
I agree.
I agree with that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Actually, I forgot about 300. It'd probably be on my list. Dang, nabbit. All right, number 3, Stefan.
Okay, this is probably. Ooh, my dog is going wild. He's pretty cute though, so he gets away with it. I'm gonna go with 1974's Black Christmas. This is Bob Clark, the director of the aforementioned Porky's, which could not be made today for very good reasons. It stars the wonderful Olivia Hussey, Margot Kidder, and I think Andrea Martin, who is like for me one of my favorite characters. I really enjoy this film. I think it's great. Black Xmas. I don't fucking care what you want to call it. I think it's a not good movie. I think the much maligned, more recent Black Christmas, it's dealing with a lot of like gross sexism that, kind of contributed to its extremely negative perception. I don't think it's that bad of a film. So I'm not like aggressively trying to erase that film. This movie's great. It doesn't need to, you can't expand upon it. I don't think it's a slasher film. Make another slasher film that's different and you'll probably make enough money. You don't need this property. Nobody's going to see a movie because it's called Black Christmas. So
or make a sequel and have him go after his sister.
Yeah. I don't know. There's angles there's angles, Stop it, please.
Jason, what do you got for number 3?
My number 3, 1987's The Princess Bride.
Oh,
like that entire cast. First of all, I think half the cast aren't with us anymore, but that entire cast, everyone was just so perfect, and it the fairy tale still plays. All the magic is there, and I just love it. I love it so much. I do.
Only Andre's gone, buddy. Billy Crystal, Carrie Elwes, Robin Wright, Fred Savage, everybody's kicking.
Oh my God. I don't know why I thought everybody was dead.
I confuse Carrie Elwes and Matthew Modine all the time. All the time.
I can see that. I really could. But then I think Saw, and I'm good.
Yeah, very true.
All right, James, number 3.
Okay, my number 3 is a foreign film that they've been trying to do an American remake of. And while I have faith in Frank Grillo in certain roles, and I don't think they could do the martial arts that is required to look as impressive in this film, it is 2011's The Raid.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Leave it alone. Don't touch it.
Yeah.
Yep. You want, in my opinion, what was a lot of people consider to be an American remake? Watch Dread.
Yeah, which
The similarities
had
are there.
a very similar thing, a very similar assault, a very tall building with a boss at the top. Yeah.
It's like a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dread's script was done prior to the raid, though. Just
it was no.
Yeah,
I'm aware of that. It's on the very basis concept. That
Similar,
part was similar, but yeah,
they're very different movies. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the Dread script was out there before. I thought,
yeah.
Okay.
Both movies are great. I love Dread. Love the raid. Yeah.
My number 3 ends in a building. That's kind of similar, right?
Die Hard? Is it Die Hard?
No, actually, it's not. 1999, but this one I don't think could be remade because you couldn't find the chemistry between the two main characters like this guy. Sorry, I said this guy, but it's actually two people, but it's not. 1999's Fight Club.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And
not to mention the twist. You couldn't pull off that twist. Like,
yeah, it's
you would need to bring back Fincher again anyway.
And then if you did that, you'd have to bring back Edward Norton and Brad Pitt and Helena Bonham Carter and the Penguin. Like, you'd have to bring all of it.
The Penguin.
Definitely. Slide.
Okay, Stefan, what do you got for number 2?
Oh yes, I can't wait to talk with those guys. This is going to be a great time. I'm picking 1975's Jaws. Let's do this. Don't touch this movie.
That's 2 that were on this list that were on my to be remade.
Yeah, I'm erasing your remake request. This movie is that's right. Hit him. This movie's perfect. It has like some wonky, prosthetics towards the end. The shark, jumping onto the boat is particularly kind of silly, but it's still, I love it. It works. The actors are wonderful. I don't know. What do you say with this movie? It's better than the book. The book is a hot mess. The book is a fucking hot mess.
Look, I know I've mentioned it before. There's every year in July, there's a screening at a retro theater in London. And I try to go to it. I took my friend Brent to see it 3 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
He had never seen Jaws ever in his life. Never watched it. And at this theater, you're watching an original 35 millimeter print. So you're watching it just like the day that it was released all those years ago. It still played. He still got all the jump scares. He still felt every bit of the excitement. It still friggin' plays.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why when I'm in a pool, I look around. And that doesn't make any sense. That is like really stupid. But that's what this movie has created.
I do the same thing in Lake Erie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like there's no great white shark, guys, but I'm looking for it, and that's because of this wonderful movie Jaws, which, like I said, I don't think there's a surprise here. Like I think you could probably guess half of these movies, but these are all like super important things for me growing up that I just gravitated towards and helped inform what I would like down the road. So here we are. Any further dissenting opinions, or are we moving on?
He's saying we're surprisingly quiet.
Bye. Yeah.
Just in case.
Okay, moving on.
Cool. Yeah.
Jason, number 2.
My number 2. Funny that it was referenced, I believe, briefly. 1994, Shawshank Redemption.
There you go. A+.
Yeah.
Like no one could fill any of those boots. And yes, it does fast forward the story compared to the book, but that is such a minor point, honestly. In the book, he goes through 2 different wardens. He's there a lot longer, but still, all the emotion, all the intensity, it's all there. And there's a reason why it's one of the most shown movies on television. There's a reason why you can pretty much turn it on almost every day of the year. Somebody's playing it somewhere.
It's Frank Darabont, right? Who directed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's because they can't get the rights to Star Wars. That's why. Sorry, that's my 2 cents.
But it just there's just something about when Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of shit. That It's Morgan Freeman, damn it.
No, you got a good point with that one. And that one I've watched, I think 4 times. I've never seen the whole thing in one sitting.
What?
Yeah, no, I have
Get
not.
out.
I
No,
can't.
I'm officially kicking you out of the madhouse. Get out. Oh wait, you control.
I guess now it really is a madhouse based on this episode.
I am so disappointed, Rob.
I'm so sunburnt.
Because usually when I start talking about, yeah, you are, man, you are.
Yeah,
I didn't want to be the first one to mention it, so I'm glad you brought it up.
again and again.
You're
Usually,
starting to glow.
yeah,
I'm nuclear at this point.
Yeah, no doubt. Turn off my lights. We'll see if he glows. Whenever Shawshank comes up, I end up putting in the Green Mile because I adore the Green Mile.
Green Mile's
Over
great too.
Shawshank?
Yeah, but I think that's only because I've never watched Shawshank in one sitting. I need to
do
watch.
it.
I need to.
You need to give it a good, honest watch.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Is that also Frank Darabont who did the Green Mile as well? No.
I think so.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but I already said it, Rob. You can't.
I know. I couldn't get on the button quick enough.
With the exception of the Majestic, he almost sticks exclusively to Stephen King.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yep, Frank Darabont.
Boom. I love the Blob remake, guys, so much.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I bought the Shout Factory Blu-ray of that. It's great.
Rob, you don't like it?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I just wanted to keep it.
It's like such an economical film.
What?
No, sorry. What I mean is like it moves so quickly. Like you can watch it and it just like flies by. Like there's no wasted time. I mean, like economical in that sense.
I've never ever heard of a film described as economical.
Well, all right. So I would also call Alien economical. I think that's a fair.
That's an interesting way to describe a good
it's
pace.
Sparse. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it gives you only the stuff you need and nothing else. There's no fat on it. You know, just kind of like
eating potatoes.
All flash, no filler.
Right.
Yeah, no filler.
James, let's see what your number 2 is.
Okay, my number 2 was a big budget epic. It was marketed poorly. It didn't make its money back, and the franchise
Resident
ended.
Evil Afterlife.
No, franchise ended with this. I have nothing negative to say about this movie. I love every bit of it. The only thing I would change about it, if I could, was its success, and that is 2012's John Carter.
I love that movie.
Really?
I do love that movie. There's something about that movie that just works for me. And so I do not disagree with you at all.
I'll be the dissenting opinion on this one. Sorry, guys.
You gotta be. I liked it too. I saw it in the theater over the weekend.
I'm alone?
I enjoyed it.
You can get rid of my square again. It's fine.
Did I think it was Oscar worthy? No, but I had been watching it.
You know,
because it was entirely like there was so much original to it.
Yeah.
It didn't follow any sort of like normal formula for that type of film.
Oh, Jason invented a new word.
Normula.
I like
Normula.
Yeah, I like Normula. I want to use that.
Formula.
Nice.
Copyright. Trademarked. Taylor Kitsch, I actually like, despite the fact that he hasn't had like a lot of successful opportunities. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, I think he's kind of underrated.
Yeah,
Especially his Gambit.
but yeah.
Now, my number 2, and we mentioned it earlier, but we know what they tried to do with the pre-sequel, and it definitely cannot be touched. It's 1982's The Thing.
Good pick. A+.
Nice.
Yep.
The only reason I didn't put that on is because it being a remake itself, like there are certain elements from the original that I think are really good. And like I would hope that, you know, they went back to Who Goes There, the short story. I have it somewhere next to me. I can't find it, but like I'd hope that down the road maybe somebody can take it in like an interesting new direction. But that's like me being so like positive and
I don't consider that
so much optimism.
Sorry. I don't consider that a remake. You look at the original, 1953. other than finding an alien in the ice, that's where the similarities end.
That's really all these movies are about, you know?
Yeah,
Finding an alien in the ice.
exactly. Especially Mike
Yeah.
Nada. His pick is the same thing. Apocalypse Now would be on my list.
Yeah. That there's another alien in ice there too.
Even the ice,
Yep.
right?
That's all it's about.
You know, all those icebergs floating around Vietnam. Yeah.
That's what Titanic's about.
Titanic, exactly. They just didn't show you the alien. They just showed you the
Yeah. There's definitely an alien in that iceberg, and that's what killed Leonardo DiCaprio.
They crashed into the iceberg on purpose to try and kill the alien.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was what got Leo, because it's got his ankle and is pulling him down. That's because normally he could have just hopped up on that door and been fine. But no.
Oh yeah, there was plenty
the
of room on that door.
alien.
Yes.
Yeah. Vertical limit. You know what's underneath that mountain of ice? An alien.
Mhm. Die Hard, right in the middle
Die
of
Hard.
that building. What do you think they're trying to get?
An alien.
Nice. Stefan, what's your number one?
Oh man, I'm like so unsure of myself here. So it's between two films. One almost got remade in the script for it. Like if you ever wanted to give it a read, is one of the worst things I've ever read in my entire life. It was set to be directed by Darren Lynn Bousman of Saw 2, 3, whatever, Spirals fame. It was a script by David S. Goyer, who co-wrote like the Dark Knight trilogy. The script was fucking trash. It is 1981's Scanners, which is my second David Cronenberg film.
I still have to see that. Oh,
You might not like it, and that's completely fair. It has like problems, and I completely understand. It was almost Videodrome. I also think that this is another great film. I have a Videodrome tattoo, so that's like, like I don't want to see this remade horribly. It's such a weird movie. You could I don't know how you'd remake it now, and it'd probably not be weird and erase some of the charm of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Scanners. Some people hate Stephen Lack's performance. The co-host on my podcast also hates his performance in Scanners, and that's fair. He plays it like a doe in the woods. Like he's like going through life all fresh and new. But I think that works for his character because he is for the first time not being inundated by voices that he constantly hears. So he's kind of like reimagining life. And I kind of like the performance. But I could be, again, assigning deeper meaning to a performance than it actually deserves. So who knows? Maybe I'm just an idiot. I suck, that's for sure.
That movie introduced me to Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
So there is nothing wrong with that movie.
That climax, like I know people like the Louis what's his name? Louis Del Gross. Wait, no. The guy's head explode. It's like an infamous scene. He's labeled as the first scanner in the film.
Yeah.
That's like the quintessential scene for a lot of people in this movie, and I think that is a huge mistake because the climax fight between Stephen Lack and Michael Ironside is like horrifying. Actually, in my opinion, Michael Ironside's performance is unreal.
Oh yeah. Mike made a comment about The Thing. He goes, if you watch The Thing 1980s version, they show parts of the original. I think you're slightly mistaken. If you watch 1978's Halloween, they show The Thing from Another Planet on the screen. The kids are watching it. But
also about an alien.
Exactly. But I don't think they actually show bits of the original in the remake. I don't think. I might have to go back and rewatch it.
There is like archival footage of the expedition, but I think it's made. I don't know actually. I'm weird with my like film trivia. Like I know like a lot about like certain things, but then I have like huge stretches of just like full gap territory where I don't know.
Yep.
There's like
96. Nothing.
Yeah.
Whenever I watch a movie, I end up going to the trivia page on IMDb.
Me too.
I get so curious about certain things.
I've been doing that. We've been rewatching 24, and every episode I get it out. Look at the trivia for that episode. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
I haven't done it with TV shows.
Yeah. Here's a fun piece of trivia actually for Scanners. On the first day of shooting, they were shooting by the highway, and they distracted cars, and a tractor trailer hit a vehicle in front of it because they were looking at the film that was shooting, and Grips pulled the people out of the car, but they had already expired. So it's kind of an ominous start to a production that was pretty troubled. Anyways, fun fact, guys.
Yeah.
People died.
We have to redefine this term fun fact, okay?
What is fun, guys?
Jason, number 2. 1. Let's do
Number
number
1.
We did number 2.
Yeah, we did the number 2. My number 1. Come on. I idolize the filmmaker for a reason. Damn it. Okay. You can't remake Clerks. Not that anybody wants to, but you can't. No one would be able to catch Kevin's vibe and his type of dialogue, which is normal speak for most people. You know, it can't be. And if anybody even tries, I will hunt them down.
You get them.
Burn all the copies.
Yeah, there won't be any copies because they won't even get to day 1. The filmmaker will have an unfortunate accident. Air quotes.
How did their brake lines get cut? I don't know.
The weirdest.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about cars.
Very aggressive rust.
Yeah.
But it would never happen anyways because no one's asking for it. I don't think. Well, Kevin doesn't own it, so it doesn't really matter. But no one would want to try that. There's just certain films, certain filmmakers, you can't touch their stuff.
Why can't film? I don't know. There's this guy on set that won't leave.
Security.
Because I want to see Kevin.
It's you can't. No one can do Kevin but Kevin.
So true. So true. Pam says, "Hi guys."
Hi Pam.
Hi Pam.
Hi, Pam.
And then Ryan said, Ebert said it best. Don't remake a 10/10 for a quick buck, but redo a 4 out of 10 with a great premise, but poor acting or script. He said that in response to Psycho. That is great. Because it is true. People but see, that's just it. If it's 10 out of 10, well, then it must be good. And we have to follow that formula.
Yeah. I mean, that's when we're talking about movies that should be remade, a large swath of them for me were movies that had great premises and, didn't do a great job. Like Flatliners is a movie I enjoy, but I don't think it delivers on its premise. And I think it would be a lot of fun. But, that was our last last episode on this subject.
I remember.
Yeah.
James, number 1.
My number 1 kind of builds on what Jason just said, that no one could make this the way the filmmaker did. But regardless of what you think about the filmmaker or a certain actor in the cast, you could not reproduce the magic that was produced in this film, and that was 1995, The Usual Suspects.
Yeah. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, your casting is so well. Kevin Spacey's history aside.
Oh, by the way, back in the headlines.
Yeah.
What a piece of work he is.
I don't know. I think this could be remade because you can get anybody to fart in a room and make people smile. Okay.
Yeah.
Legit.
Benicio del Toro's lineup scene is comedy gold.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Anybody can fart in a room. It's not. I've done it. But no, you are right. That is like a little bottled lightning with that movie.
And again, the twist that everyone would see coming. Like you can't pull that off now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's you get, as soon as the twist is out there, it's hard for another movie to even think about doing it.
And anyone trying to fill the shoes of someone else is just going to be like, well, I have to do it exactly like they did, otherwise it's going to look ridiculous.
I have to invite Ryan Haskell onto the show just so I can kick him out of the room. Can remake Love Actually with better script and acting. Thanks, Ryan. Well,
what a deeply upsetting movie, by the way, if you look at it from you stand back from it, like the what's his name from The Walking Dead? Lincoln, Andrew Lincoln.
Andrew
Lincoln.
That whole segment is awful.
The girl. And
this is
Alan
best
Rickman,
friend's wife.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Alan Rickman and his wife get separated. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
The prime minister has a troubling relationship with a former staffer. Like, geez.
Mm-hmm. And the movie opens with a guy cheating or the woman cheating on her husband.
Yeah.
And this is one of your favorite movies.
One of my favorite movies. Every Christmas I watch it because it makes me feel good.
That's good. That's fine.
My
I'll
number
watch it
one,
too.
I picked this one for two reasons. One, because it should not be touched. And two, if I did pick it for a remake, I would get my ass kicked by Rochelle. 1994's The Crow.
I have it in my like honorable mentions kind of thing, but I got to put the caveat of just they can't do Eric Draven The Crow.
Well, they've shown they can't do anything with the sequels. Okay,
Well, that's true,
Really.
but I think it could. They got to find the right. They got to find the right thing. I think it could be done as a separate story. Just don't try and do Eric Draven again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you do.
Sadly, people don't want anything but the Eric Draven story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crow 2, 3, and 4 showed that. You know, the TV show showed that. So
That was the Eric Draven story redone.
yeah, like I said, TV show showed that.
I never watched the show. I had friends who did, and they raved about it, but I just couldn't do it. And I like Mark Dacascos a lot, but he wasn't enough to get me to watch that because I love the movie too much.
I'm gonna throw.
You're gonna watch the first episode, Jason, and you're gonna be just every 5 minutes. No.
Nope.
Is Mark Dacascos the guy from like he's like a small part in like The Dark Knight?
John Wick 3. He's the bald guy.
Yeah, he's the bald leader of the Assassinate Squad.
He's the native warrior in Brotherhood of the Wolf.
He did a movie called Drive from the 90s that just recently got a new Blu-ray release that I really want to find.
Brotherhood of the Wolf is a huge throwback to a movie I watched endlessly. I just looked him up. I recognize him now, and it's not the person I thought he was. Anyways, sorry. I'm sunburnt. That's all I can say. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I'm going to throw one on here as I was going to have as an honorable mention. It was actually going to make my list, but I found a brand new remake of it, and I actually enjoyed it. And I was going to pick, I think it's 1994's The Fugitive with Harrison Ford.
I was going to say wrong turn. Is it wrong turn?
Yes, never touch that. Never. But no, The Fugitive. When you watch that with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones, I was going to say that's, beautiful chemistry, the whole bit. The night I watched the 2020 remake with Boyd Halston and Kiefer Sutherland.
There's a remake?
Yes, it's a 14-part web series, and it is good.
Oh, it's good.
They adapted it very nice.
Huh.
It's now a guy that was charged with drunk driving, spent 3 years in jail. He gets out, and his parole officer, he gets fired because they can't have cons working. Right. So he's talking to his parole officer. He says, look, well, I got to file it, but we'll get you something going. Gets off a train. The train blows up. So now people think he targeted his parole officer because he filed a complaint against him because he's an ex-con. And it starts this whole big chase. And it uses modern media because someone gets a hold of a picture of him at the site. So they tweet out, okay, this is your bomber, blah, blah, blah. And that starts the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So it was a very nice adaptation to modern times. I thought it was really well done. So I couldn't put it on my list.
Yeah. Interesting.
I found it on the Roku channel.
Cool. I'll give it a watch. I've been wanting to rewatch the original The Fugitive, like Harrison Ford Fugitive recently. So I'm gonna do both of those. Cool.
With 24, I've been a Kiefer nut, so I saw Kiefer's name. I was like, gotta watch it. And then Boyd on there ever since Logan, because that's the first thing I saw him in.
Boyd Holbrook, right?
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I gotta see these two. So well worth the watch.
It's funny you mentioned Kiefer though, because I had also in the honorable mention Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They should not try to catch that one again.
Good call on that one. Good call on that one.
I also had I had Videodrome, obviously. That's the one I was like unsure about for first place, but I think Child's Play is like such a great film, and the remake to me is like I turned it off. I hated it. I thought it was like garbage. It didn't work for me.
I can see the premise in the story, and I think it has merit, but it is not Child's Play.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fair.
They changed the story, right? They changed the origin of Chucky, so call it something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's now AI as a horror movie. That's literally what it is.
I don't mind the setup, actually. I think it's kind of funny. Like, I think it works. Like, but I have to be honest, like, the rest of the movie didn't work for me at all. Like, I literally turned it off. I was just like, this is not like this is a barely coherent film. I like Aubrey Plaza a lot. I think she's a ton of fun. And in this movie, I was just like,
Mark Hamill. I liked him as Chucky. Well, as Saul, sorry. Because that's not Chucky. Chucky is a deranged serial killer spirit in the body of a doll.
Yeah, I'm excited for what's the who's the writer / director of
Don Mancini.
Don Mancini, yeah, he has a TV show coming out soon. I'm kind of interested to check out.
Yeah, they're bringing back like Brad Dourif and them.
And I think Fiona Dourif, his daughter, is going to be in it as well, which is really cool. There's somebody else they announced, and I was like, wow, this is like they're casting for me. Like, it was such a weird. Honestly, it was like Crispin Glover or something. Like I was like, nobody likes Crispin Glover except for me. What is going on here?
Oh man, well, man, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, always.
Yes, thank you. This was a tough one to actually weed down.
Yeah.
So like, so many films out there that they just should not touch. So
yeah.
Well done, everybody.
Cool.
For another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
I'm Sunburnt and Stefan.
We'll
I'm
see
going to
y'all
hurt tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodles.
I say, shut up! It's a man!